Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? All right. Shout out to Azriel for this. I probably was gonna come up on this soon enough, but Azriel expedited the process and he definitely sent this to me. And what we are speaking about today is our favorite colorist queen, right? Chrissy, and her video think piece, however you want to call it, about, and it's titled "The Coffee Date Debate and Reactions to Women Sharing Their Dating Preferences." Right? So, sharing their dating preferences online, better yet. All right. Why this matters. Chrissy thinks you can move in silence. Chrissy is of two minds on this because not only she does want black women to move in silence, but she also wants black women to be as loud and arrogant as she feels that the men have been about their preferences. I'm glad you said that because this also informs us of how y'all internalize black boys and men not necessarily telling y'all what they like, but choosing what they like, and then y'all feeling like they're. And I've said this before, right? So let me go through it with y'all. In high school, you think the cute, petite, green eye, Vanessa Williams looking, Rihanna looking, right? You think one of those women are attractive, right? You're looking at her lustfully. A Chrissy is sitting right next to you, and you don't realize it, but she's seething. Y'all juniors and seniors in high school, and Chrissy is sitting next to you, and she's seething. And in her mind, because you find Rihanna attractive, in her mind, right? Because you find Beyonce attractive, right? Because you find Tyra Banks attractive, because you find Sweetie attractive, huh? In her mind, what you did to her essentially is you tapped Chrissy on the shoulder and said, "Listen here, you dark, ugly B word. I will never choose you, you dark, ugly, nappy-headed B word with your broad, ugly nose. And I hate my gums because they black." Literally, that is the way these girls and women internalize it. Huh? That's how they internalize it. You don't have to call her dark and ugly. You don't have to say with your Negro naps. You don't have to say it. She feels that way, so you did say it. When you pop up with your caramel skin girlfriend, with your light skinned girlfriend, with your fair damn near white, when you pop up with Mariah Carey, huh? When you pop up with Mariah Carey to many dark skinned women, including Chrissy, what you did, and I don't even want to say tap them on the shoulder, you knocked them across their face, you backhanded them and said, "You ugly, dark, ugly." Huh? So I'm glad Chrissy said what she said. Now let's go through it. Chrissy brings up, which one was it where the kind of caramel sister, she's a little bit heavy set, but she had a cute face, right? And she said something about the brother's height. Chrissy, you didn't say anything about the fact that she said something about that brother's height. I think he was what, 5'7", 5'8", something like that, maybe 5'9". You didn't say anything. Remember, she started it. Chrissy, this speaks a lot about the way. See, this is what we're saying. You see the way you view that? She said something disparaging about his height. Later on in that conversation, when the men say something about her weight and she crumbles and cries, that's what you pay attention to. Oh, of course. And there you go, Chrissy. That's it. What else needs to be said? Now, Mr. Z is going to do a whole lot more talking, but of course I am. Chrissy, what else needs to be said? Did you watch the whole thing, Chrissy? Why didn't you mention that she said something disparaging about the brother's height first? Huh? Her preference was against that brother's height first. You forgot about that now, didn't you? So notice a woman's tears and the fact that she crumbled when she's hit with men's standards. So once again, Women could be as offensive and mean and rude and condescending and snarky and sassy as they want to be. And they can start off that way. But when a man responds, that's okay, I ain't really interested because you're a little too heavy for me. Crumble, cried, and all the other women come rushing to her. Oh, I get it. Oh, you're such a sexist. Huh? Chrissy, do you realize what you just did there? Look at what you just did, Chrissy. Wow. Our point exactly. This is the Black Manosphere point right here, Chrissy. You just proved it. That young lady was a bit snarky and sassy, huh? So you're focused on the colorism thing, right? You didn't notice she said something about the brother's height. He played it off. The super tall brother, remember, it wasn't even the shorter one. It was the more tall one. They mentioned her weight, and now she want to play. Well, why does it always have to be about looks thing? And women love doing that. They could disparage you all day, every day, right? For your lack of formal education, for your height, for whatever they don't like about you physically. That's perfectly okay. And I actually do believe that it's perfectly okay, not to be disparaging and mean, but this is your life. You are allowed to be discriminatory about what you find attractive, men and women, period. But when you're met with that same energy and you crumble, and then here's Chrissy, you see? Look at that. Now let's continue. The Nigerian sister that you covered, Chrissy. And once again, we're covering this. Ezreal sent me this. Shout out to Ezreal. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Chrissy covers the Nigerian woman. And she says, oh, she said that in her comments was a bunch of men that were bringing her down and insulting her and saying she didn't look good enough. Chrissy, did you go through those TikTok comments? She lied, Chrissy. Chrissy, did you go through her comments, Chrissy? She lied. The vast majority of her comments are from other women, black women, who agree with her, Chrissy. None of the men said she wasn't deserving, Chrissy. Oops. Chrissy, this is one of your acolytes. Chrissy, you're looking like one of those white people that raise their daughters to be monsters and raise their sons to be monsters. And when their sons and their daughters play their ass, take grandma's money, scam them, become a scammer, and then you're like, oh my God, I would have never thought. You raised that. Chrissy, this is one of your acolytes. And I'm not saying she's necessarily subscribed to you in particular, although I wouldn't be surprised. I'm saying that worldview, she's coming from your line of thinking. She's coming from your line of thinking, Chrissy. Chrissy, you really don't appreciate what you and Yanni and Paris and Shira 7 and Cynthia G and even Divested Zella, who you disagree with, y'all don't really know, Crystal and Kerosene, etc., etc. Y'all don't really appreciate what the hell y'all have created over the past decade or so on social media, do you? Y'all don't really appreciate what y'all created here. That sister used to like hood dudes. She was trying to do the bad B thing. She said it herself on another video. She's now doing the I'm better than everything. I'm of a certain class. Now she reversed course. She's pulling a you. She's pulling a Paris. She's pulling a Yanni. She lied, Chrissy. She lied. Because that's one thing dark-skinned black women can do. Is these men are telling me that I'm not attractive enough. It's because of my hair texture. They don't think I'm deserving. And even you said it, Chrissy. Huh? It's always black men don't think we're deserving as dark-skinned black women with 4C curls. They don't think we're deserving. And that's all she had to say. And here you come running. She lied, Chrissy. And it's easy to lie to dark-skinned black women. Oh, it's too easy. Because all you gotta do is throw some magical Negro under the bus. Just throw a black man under the bus, and y'all will fall for it every time. All anyone has to say is black men colorism, and here come Chrissy. Da-da-da! Huh? So you mentioned what she said was going on in her comments. Did you go check, Chrissy? Because I did. BGS did. Uh-oh. Chrissy, she lied, Chrissy. And that's easy to do. Because women like you and women like Paris, with her femcel talk, with her black femcel talk, huh? And women like Crystalline Kerosene with her fake white girl crocodile tears. Y'all have made space for women, and especially young women, to keep on playing the colorism card even when it doesn't apply. Keep on playing the texturism card even when it doesn't apply. Keep on playing the featureism card even when it doesn't apply. And KW Don says, Z, I sent you Yanni's confession in your email. Yeah, I saw it. Thank you. Thank you. I saw it. And thank you, KW Don. Right? So now Chrissy is telling women to move in silence. Oh my God. Chrissy, first, it's too late. Secondly, that ain't gonna work. Chrissy mentions that, especially with the economy right now, it may not be wise to keep on broadcasting your standards, air quotes, your standards, right? Chrissy, y'all been doing it too long. It's too late. Especially black women. And you helped it. I heard you say, you kind of messed up because you was on the spearhead. Yeah, Chrissy, and I'm glad you said it because you wanted black women to spite black men by being so damn loud about it. Because you were part of that black men dusty, black men colorist, black men featurist, black men texturist, and you thought, because you forgot what country you live in, you thought if you walked around on a blowhorn and spoke about how much black men didn't value black women and black men didn't think that black women, specifically dark-skinned black women, were deserving of a certain lifestyle, and black men were too dusty. Meanwhile, all the numbers say black men earn more than black women from $50,000 a year on up. Hundreds of thousands of more black men earn more than black women from $50,000 all the way up. Uh-oh. You thought you were going to do what? Get white men to what? Save black women, darker skinned black women like you from Blackistan? Uh-oh. How is that working exactly, Chrissy? Huh? What you thought you were going to get the Dr. Umar Johnsons of the world to shame black men into what? Dying at work? To provide women like you the opulent lifestyle so you could feel okay sitting next to rich white women? Huh? And let's be very clear, that's really what this is about. Ain't it, Chrissy? Your insatiable inferiority complex around light-skinned and mixed black women and white women and Latinas, like you, the ones you like to call exoticals. You militarized them, Chrissy. The lighter skin, light eyes, and Latinas, the Afro Latinas, they weren't on. Yeah, they might have been a little meaner to darker skinned black women. I'll give you that, maybe. You militarized them, especially on social media. You, Chrissy. Now they openly accept the term exotical. Uh-oh. Chrissy, since I've been on for the past few years, I told you, be careful how you moving, Chrissy. You loud as hell, Chrissy. I said it to Paris and Yanni too. I said it when Lawrence Smith Field happened. I said it when Asia Maynard happened. I said it when that sister who that white dude dismembered happened. I bet y'all loud as hell. Y'all too damn loud. You doing way too much to spite black men. The white guys got the internet too. They on social media also. Huh? They're privy to these conversations. Huh? Chrissy, do you really want to start counting how many times black women, especially darker skinned black women, end up with white dudes that not just delete them, forget that. We ain't even gonna go all the way there. The white guys that divorce them and take their money, oops. Huh? Chrissy, you can't escape Blackistan. There is no moving in silence. There is no moving in silence. First of all, it's too late. Secondly, you're right. The economy sucks. Huh? All these little escape. What the type? What? Who's raising these people? You can't move in silence your way out of this, Chrissy. Chrissy, I'm gonna say it again. I don't care about your feelings. I'm never gonna be pro-black again, or whatever she said back then. Chrissy, either black women build with black men or they starve. There is no other way. You think I'm joking when I say that? You think I'm being hyperbolic when I say that? Huh? Chrissy, single black and single Latina women have the least amount of wealth in America. That's according to Black Enterprise Institute, who got their information from the St. Louis Federal Reserve. To hell with y'all dreams of the mythical, magical white man who rescued you from Blackistan while riding his trusty, dusty steed. Huh? Chrissy goes on to speak about, how your average black woman is not really on this, and like the little underhanded schemes that women do to keep other women like her from being with the baller dude. How certain women feel a certain way when women like her talk about their standards and like, well, I settled, and why does she think she's better than settling? Oh my God. Once again, this is that weirdo stuff that single women like to do for their own ego, Chrissy. Well, she ended up with that bum ass dude. I'm not gonna end up with no bum ass dude. I'd rather be single. And so here you are. Oops. It's always some underhanded plot to get black women to settle for stuff that other women don't have to settle for. Meanwhile, your average white woman is living Roseanne's life. Huh? Yeah. So it's women of a certain caliber are trying to sabotage the women that think and feel like Chrissy. So they tell them, "Oh no, there's nothing wrong with that, or there's nothing wrong with this. And why do you want to do this? Why do you want a man like that?" And then it's the other women who are competing against the women like Chrissy who also engage in the same thing. Wow, this is some frightening stuff, Chrissy. Really? So you spend 16, 17 minutes speaking about black women and how loud they are with their dating preferences online. And this sounds like a lot of sugar baby talk. Huh? And Compassionate says net worth of $3,500. That's black women's net worth. Huh? Oh boy. Is this smart, Chrissy? Black women like you have been insanely loud for years. Crystalline Kerosene, right? You bought on Zach. Crystalline Kerosene bought on the Veganator, right? You bought on Zach so you could do your little damage control. It's too damn late, and I don't even know what Zach talking about when he say, "Well, I hear the black manosphere. We don't really have that type of issue. It's grown a little bit in the white community, in the white society, but not really." BS. If you think we sound crazy, Chrissy, You want to hear all type of men calling women whales and land yachts and all that other stuff? You ain't hear nothing yet until you start hearing the white dudes talking. You want to see men deleting women because they're on some crazy stuff? Over there. I don't know what Zach was talking about. Huh? Exactly. And Vince is living Roseanne's life, married. Well, you have to understand and appreciate, and shout out to BGS, and I want to maybe review that tomorrow, what BGS reviewed earlier today. Shout out to BGS. These women, like Chrissy and like the professor that that spoke to Jesse Lee Peterson, um they claim they're okay with being single until you let them talk long enough. And it always boils down to, and shout out to BGS, it ain't fair, I'm not a white woman. They claim that they're okay with being single, and it always boils down to, it ain't fair, I'm not a white woman. It's not fair, I'm not a light-skinned, fair-skinned woman. And it ain't fair that these men won't, the rich men, the baller men, the educated men, the black men of a certain class won't take care of me and shut up. Once again, protect, provide, and shut up. And what does shut up mean, class? Don't exercise any of that leadership and any of that power or influence that comes from your economic and social position because of your education and your money and your status. I want you to have the status. I want you to have the money. I want you to have the physique. I just don't want you to exercise any of that on me. Huh? Yeah. Nope. Yeah. So these women like Chrissy continue to speak about how they're perfectly okay with being single. Right up until they start talking about black men, and then their eye starts twitching, right? Their mouth starts trembling. They start growing that Vegeta vein when he turning Super Saiyan on their forehead. Huh? Yeah. They perfectly okay with being single until they get to the area of speaking about black men. Huh? They're about to go Super Saiyan. Rocks start levitating off the ground. Start seeing thunder in clouds. Huh? All that anger and all that resentment. Right? Because the white dudes won't, the white dudes, especially the white dudes of status, are not taking enough black women. And the black dudes of status are not taking enough black women in their mind. Particularly dark-skinned black women. Ain't that right, Chrissy? Because these men are sexist, and it's not your sexist attitudes towards these men. Nope, they're sexist. And it's not your idea that these men need to provide, protect, and shut up. Nope. It's these men's colorism and their featureism and their texturism. Huh? Yeah. So Chrissy just continues and she goes on and on, about just being quiet, moving in silence. This is so dangerous. And I'm going to continue to talk about this. These women aren't going to even really be able to afford being golden girls. To all of you that are in law enforcement, shout out to Charles, get ready to start seeing more and more black women in these golden girls type of situations assaulting each other. We'll say that. It's going to be goddamn tackle football, hockey in them damn homes with supposedly straight black women trying to pull this golden girls, and we all gave the middle finger to men. and we all single, childless, or some of us do have children, some of us don't, but our kids are grown, and we live in these homes together, and we're trying to make things work and pay for this house together, and all it takes is somebody coming short on that rent or that mortgage twice. Huh? GC says Super Keisha hysterical, and Vincent says black girl on black girl. I get what you're saying. Black girl on black girl Mortal Kombat fights. I'm telling you. Huh? It's so. Remember when I covered and shout out to Compassionate who was on the ones and twos in the background with me when I covered the darker skin cute sister. I think we were calling her Tiny. And she said it. These women are just gonna have to deal. They're gonna figure it out when they get there. No, they're not. No, they're not. And then Chrissy also, when she says, I tell average and below average looking black women, if you can't date hypergamously, then be alone. Then you have this professor that BGS covered earlier, essentially espousing the same thing. Who are these people? I really mean it. Who are these people telling black women and saying to black men that black women would rather be alone than quote unquote date down and settle? First of all, black women can't afford it. I mean, they literally cannot afford it. I mean, no, they literally cannot afford it. So the professor that was speaking to Jesse Lee Peterson, yeah, and this is the same thing Dr. Chris Marsh engaged in. These outliers continue to say, no, we good single. Yeah, no, you're good single. Huh? And Detro says, Golden Gloves Granny Division. I'm telling you. It's going to be WWE in those houses. I don't know what, once again, Chrissy, I don't know what world you're living in. Right? I don't know what world you're living in where black women could just move in silence. And no. Boy, y'all really hate black men more than y'all love black women. Y'all continue to give them the absolute worst advice ever just to spite black men. Just to spite the black manosphere. Chrissy, you ain't tired of giving them the wrong advice yet? You're not tired yet? It's been almost a decade. You're not tired yet? Chrissy, even your own subscribers, the vast majority of them are not going to end up with no white dude, period. Definitely not no baller white dude. Right? Like, you're not... How is this supposed to work? The math don't even math. Fine, black men not even in the picture. I know that's what you wish. The math don't even math. Right? White men are the most sought after group in America, black women the least. How the hell is this supposed to work? And then, not only that, remember, you're telling them to date and marry hypergamously. So it's not even just the skin color, although it really is. The status too. Oh boy. Vince says, no, not WWE. No, UFC mixed class fights. Hysterical. Huh? Y'all killing me with the tumbleweaves. Indigo said tumbleweaves. And Joe says, nothing nastier than the street covered in tumbleweaves. And that's all that's going to lead all of this Africana kinship network thing that BJ speaks about. And all of these women saying, I have community. I have sisters. I have girlfriends. Right? All of that sound nice. Who would have ever thought, let's say 1960s, early 1960s, somewhere in the 1950s, Who would have ever thought with more and more freedoms, forget just giving black men their ass to kiss in the middle finger. Who would have ever thought black women would have went this far with it? If I can't have the rich white man or the rich black man, if I can't walk in the room and defecate on every single other woman there, if I can't look down on every single woman and say, my man bought that for me. I live in this neighborhood. I have this status. I'm better than you. I'm sorry. She don't need to say. She needs to walk in the room with the air of superiority, and you could smell the success off of her. Whether she earned it or not, you could smell it on her because of her man. Who would have ever thought black women out of all people would have been the ones that said, if I can't have that, I don't want anything? Who would have ever thought that in 1958, 1962? And yes, it's not all black women. Uh-oh. But it's a really, really, really loud majority minority. Right? And Chrissy just talking and talking and talking and trying to tell, oh no, okay, now we got to move in silence. And yeah, like a part of me wish that we could be as arrogant as the men and loud. What? I said it. According to the Chrissies of the world, you don't have to. And I'm not saying she said that, although, right? Just you finding the caramel sister attractive, and Chrissy could see you looking at the caramel sister. Just you finding the lighter skinned sister attractive, and Chrissy could see you looking at her. You don't have to call a Chrissy dark and ugly and unattractive and your big lips and your broad nose and your kinky hair. And yes, Mr. Z is saying it like that on purpose. You don't have to tap them on the shoulder and the way they act and backhand them and say it. That's how they feel. Oh boy, emphasis on the word feel. So to all the parents raising their sons and daughters, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Especially your sons. Especially when it comes to certain little girls, the little dark-skinned black girl in class. In the corner, mad as hell. Exactly, GC. The Uncle Ruckus voice, exactly. Right? The little dark-skinned black girl. Especially if she not the cute slim one, she not Kelly Rowland out here, she not Lupita out here, right? She not Naomi Campbell out here. She not Bria Miles out here. Oh, she over there seething. Huh? So yeah, you telling your son if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Meanwhile, what you don't know is the Kim Fosters of the world. Yeah, I said her name. Huh? She's still harping on the fact that she went to prom with a white dude because the black nerds and the black jocks weren't checking for her. Huh? Yeah. Meanwhile, Ostefco, all in her goddamn 30s, celebrating Will Smith slapping Chris Rock for a hair joke. Because when she was 8 years old, y'all heard right. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think she said 8th grade. I think she said when she was 8 years old. The little black boys apparently were making fun of her. So grown ass Chris Rock deserved a slap from Will Smith because of some who knows who the hell they are little black boys when Ostefco was 8 years old. Why is Mr. Z bringing that up? Because they still remember it. Damn, they're 30 years later. Huh? So now Chrissy telling these women to move in silence. Chrissy, y'all been walking around the damn internet goose stepping. Shout out to Cynthia G and Lexus Exodus. And walking around here with a goddamn blowhorn. Right? With a goddamn, there's about to be a nuke horn. This is not a drill. Right? Y'all been walking around here like that for a decade on social media, longer. So no, ma'am, absolutely not. No, ma'am. Move in silence. Chrissy, that Nigerian sister that you covered, she lied. That's how y'all get Rhoda. That's how y'all get Carly Russell. Y'all gonna keep on getting that. It's gonna keep on happening because y'all helped to bring that about. Not just you, Chrissy, but Paris with her femcel talk. B. Simone with her disparaging civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King. Same thing with Real Talk with Yanni. Huh? All of you. Yeah. This young lady lied to you about black men in her comments telling her what she's not deserving of. And you went for it. Did you read the comments, Chrissy? Did you read the comments? Right? And y'all gives you 1 second, y'all talk amongst yourselves. So Chrissy brings up Passport Bros. We're back. And says, these men are showing their preferences and they're talking about it online, and it's because they're unattractive or they can't get the women they want, because they can't afford them or they're unattractive. Chrissy, believe it or not, sometimes the women we want are like you. And another black man gets his passport. Uh-oh. Sometimes we like what we see until you open your mouth and we realize, oh boy, insufferable, and another black man gets his passport. Believe it or not, black men are okay with average looking. The problem is, asshole, and another black man gets his passport. Huh? Who wants to be with the insecure, dark skinned black woman who's insufferable, mean, condescending, sassy, and snarky? And another black man gets his passport. Huh? No, Chrissy. These men know they're going to have to spend money anyway. They understand what women are desiring. The problem is you want all of that, and not you in particular, because I've heard you admit that you might have to play a little bit and stroke his ego a little bit here and there. Okay, cool. The problem is not enough black women actually believe that. So guess what? Another black man gets his passport. Thank you, Indigo. And they refute. It's insane listening to Chrissy talk, and it's this simple. And Indigo says, "We just trying to get a good deal, man." It's literally that simple. Yes, Chrissy, it's literally that simple. It actually is that simple. And black women like you, Chrissy, what you're saying is for me to be cool and compliant and defer to you, you have to be rich and at least good looking enough and whatever that bar is for you. Imagine that. I reserve the right to be as mean and snarky and sassy and be an a-hole and be moody as much as I want, unless you're rich. And then you'll still see this in me. I'll just turn it down a half a notch. I didn't even say a notch. Imagine that. Oh boy. Right. And y'all gives you 1 more second. Black women are no longer going for being settled for or tolerated by these men. Settled for or tolerated. Think about black men who pursue black women, black men who flirt with black women, who compliment black women, who approach black women. It's happening less and less. That's another reason why y'all complaining, but Chrissy won't address that part. But black men who is historically did this is what we're known for. You remember, Chrissy, you were part of that Big D and Swag thing that Crystal and Karazin was on. You forgot, y'all were making fun of us about that. You forgot that, Chrissy? So imagine this. Black men who were known negatively as Big D and Swag. Now y'all saying y'all not settling. Oh, rephrase that. Y'all don't want to be settled for. What? I don't know where you grew up, Chrissy, what your experiences were when you were young, but this is some weird old projection crap. Shout out to Ostefco for giving us a glimpse that a lot of that broken heart stuff is from white dudes. Oops. Huh? I don't know what movies you didn't watch, what television shows, what type of childhood trauma you have, or what stories you were privy to overhearing around your parents, your mom, or whatever. But this got to stop. This is some weird stuff. Are tired of being settled for. Black men walk around here like we settled for the black women we're with, when black women are the ones that file for divorce by 70 to 80%. Uh-oh. When black women are the ones that spend decades disparaging black men all over television, any white person that would give them a microphone, all they did was disparage black men. Black women are the ones who feel like they got settled for? Huh. Black women are the ones who feel like they got settled for. Wow. 70 to 80% divorce rate, and if she's college educated, 90% of those divorces are filed by women. And black women feel like they're the ones who's getting settled for. Yeah. Kevin Samuels had light skin, dark skin, caramel, short, tall, heavy set, slim, educated, not educated, professional, not professional, blue collar, white collar, black women call into his show 2 years in a row, night after night after night after night, and they boiled men down to nothing but walking ATM machines and overglorified guard dogs and the occasional sex toy. But black women feel like they're the ones who's being settled for. Huh? Yeah. Dark-skinned black women on Daily Wrap-Up Crew. What happened to the days when black men would provide, protect, and shut up? Light-skinned black women on Cruise Season. If I earn more than you, I will belittle you. And yet, black women are the ones who feel like they're being settled for. Huh. The projection, everyone. It's over 9,000. The projection, everyone. The projection. Black women are the ones who feel like they're being settled for. And the article says economically unattractive men are leading to a downturn in marriage. And that was speaking about women writ large in America. And black women are the ones who feel like they're being settled for. Yeah. Y'all just be talking. Y'all just be talking. I swear y'all just be talking. Y'all are just talking. Economically unattractive men are leading to a downturn in marriage. Now I got Dr. Richard Reeve saying a real man overproduces. Because that's his way of trying to get men writ large, because white men aren't playing this game either, Chrissy. That's Dr. Richard Reeves trying to get men to play ball with women who he know are full of crap. So look. These women are gonna take the vagina off the table. They're gonna throw temper tantrums. They're mad they didn't end up with a rich white dude. But you still gotta overproduce for them. Hell no. For what? Women like Chrissy? Absolutely not. Huh? And y'all gives you a second. I'm gonna try to listen to the next part. Y'all gives you a second. Of course she did that. So around the 8 minute, 15-second mark or so, Chrissy says something like, the women that I'm around who are used to nice things are the main ones who have high standards. And Chrissy is essentially responding to a woman who said, it'd be the women that ain't used to anything that have these insane standards. No, Chrissy, it's all of you. No, Chrissy, it's all of you. The woman that's used to it, yeah, her too. The woman that's not used to it, yeah, her too, because y'all both competing. Huh? No, Chrissy, it's all of you. Huh? Number one. Number two, when Chrissy shows the women she's talking about, two white women and a light skinned black woman. Oh boy. Or racially ambiguous black woman. She looked light skinned. She might not be. Yeah, I can't really tell. She looked light racially ambiguous. Huh? Yeah. So these women are used to nice things. And Chrissy does admit that this is somewhat of a class conversation. You know who been saying that? Uh oh. Z, you want to pat yourself on the back right now? Chrissy, you know who been saying this? These weirdo outliers, that includes you, Chrissy, black women with a couple of dollars, black women that grew up away from black people, black women that went to diverse schools, white schools, are doing way too much goddamn talking on social media. And all y'all are doing with your inferiority complex having asses is throwing salt in the entire dating game for black people. That's all you're doing, Chrissy. Y'all are the ones with the inferiority complex that want to be white, not the rest of us. Y'all the ones who still harping on who didn't ask you to prom when you were freaking 17 and 18 years old, not the rest of us. Y'all are the ones who sit next to white people in your corporate offices, jealous of Becky, not the rest of us. Huh? Y'all the ones who have a sneaky link that's a middle-aged white dude with a pot belly, not the rest of us. Huh? It's these weirdos who have internet access and whatever account on social media doing way too much. Chrissy, you've been super loud and obnoxious. Chrissy, you've been loud. You've been antagonistic. Mr. Z's being very antagonistic right now. I'll own it. And obnoxious as hell for years. For years. And you and Crystalline Karazin and Paris Milan and Real Talk with Yanni and Lexus Exodus and Cynthia G and Shira 7 and Divested Zealot, etc., etc. Y'all have had ideological children and maybe even grandchildren running around social media, taking some of your rhetoric, using some of your rhetoric and sounding even more extreme, and they're loud. Huh? They're loud. And now you try to tell them, whoa, 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 let's slow down. Wait a minute, it's too late. Chrissy, aren't you similar age to Z? What did I see that you didn't see? Oh, wait, I forgot. I don't hate black women. That's the difference. Uh-oh. Huh? That's the difference. I don't resent black women. I think y'all are misbehaving and throwing goddamn temper tantrums like 7-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds. Huh? I don't compare black women to white women. Uh-oh. Can the same be said about you, Chrissy? Oops. Huh? Yeah. And this is the problem. Grown-ass black women who are directing most of their, and this is why it's always Jermaine's fault, directing all of, if not most of, their anger, their angst, their resentment, their ire towards black men, not white society, not white women who y'all signed a Faustian bargain with, not white men who you wish you were with, not the Latina quote unquote exotical, not the Asian quote unquote exotical. No, you direct most, if not all, of your anger towards Jermaine. But of course you do, you cowards. But of course you do. Huh? Yeah. This is some weirdo stuff. And a split Jim says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. A split Jim says it's too late for them to go quiet. Has been out of the bag, pun intended. Cat's out of the bag, right? Hey man, they've been super loud, a split Jim. They've been super, oh my god, they've been loud. They've been loud. And I want to know if Chrissy stand on what she stand on. As more black women become single, lonely, and not just single, lonely, desperate, struggling financially to the point where they can't even pretend no more. They even drop the facade of swaggy begging. Chris, you gonna still be making your content the way you are now? I gotta go on my lefty back for a minute or two, y'all. Real quick. You see what certain conservatives have, what they want to bring in with Project 2025. I'm not talking about the trans stuff and the bathroom stuff and the religious stuff. No. Mr. Z, leaving all the culture war stuff. Y'all can have that. I'm talking about the money. As I said to BGS, they want to lock the wealth behind the top 20%, mainly white folks. That's why they want to strip all government everything. That's the whole point. They want to turn this into feudal era Europe 2.0. And that's the environment, Chrissy, that you think black women gonna make it out here alone? Yeah, that's it. Huh? They want to make you precarious. Huh? They don't want you to have a floor. Makes you easier to mold and to do what they say. And that's the environment, Chrissy. That's the environment that you think black women can survive in alone? Yeah, that's it. Huh? Y'all really don't know what y'all. Ooh, and Chris. When I say these people are not dumb, I'm not trying to just flatter them. I mean it. They're not dumb. They're just little bitter, angry, resentful, gender warring people. And they can't take those lenses off to save their life. They can't. So they give this weirdo advice. And they make these little think pieces, these little weirdo think pieces. Dr. D says the future is Dune, not Star Trek. Right? We are right now at a precipice between whether we go Matrix or, like you said, Dune or Star Trek. Right? It's either going to be Elysium or Dune or something like that. One of those cyberpunk, one of those techno dystopian futures. What's the name of the anime from the 80s? Akira? It's either gonna be one of those, or we're gonna be living, like you said, Dr. D, Star Trek. Right? But the Chrissies of the world, they just can't come off of it. They can't. And instead of them getting out of the goddamn ego, what you have Tiny, who I covered a couple of days ago. You have TF says Nazi idiocracy. Charles says Ghost in the Shell. Lithium says Mad Max. Better use is the future is. Oh, wait a minute, it went away. Better use is the future is John Wick. Hysterical, y'all got me. Detro says Total Recall. Trail says Blade Runner. Right, y'all killing me. Y'all bringing up all the techno dystopian movies. Shout out to Blade Runner. So you have Miss Tiny. You have the professor that BGS covered, speaking of Jesse Lee Peterson. You have Chrissy. All these people are saying. You have Stephanie Perry. You have Dr. Chris Marsh. All these people saying, no, black women will be fine. They're gonna be all right. They got their friendship network, and they have their circle, and they have their friends, and they have their family. Okay, yeah, that's it. And Black Enterprise Institute says, referring to St. Louis Federal Reserve, single Latina and black women have the least amount of wealth in America. Yeah, they're gonna be fine, all right. Right? Not Gattaca, I know what you meant to say, Trill. Right? Passport OG says Spawn. A Split Jim says Snowpiercer. Right? And I'm not gonna go complete doomer and say it's a guarantee we go feudal era 2.0 in America. I am saying if especially younger Xers, millennials, Gen Z, if we don't fight this, regardless of who gets into power, because you'll be damned if you think some of the left won't go along with this crap. And shout out to BGS. We talked about it, right? Yeah, no, it's coming in. Black Lewis is Silent Green. Soylent Green, sorry. Right? And I loosely know about that movie. Yeah. And Soylent Green was like the remains of dead people, right? If I'm not mistaken. It was people, right? Oh, okay. And Charles says no, there is a movie called Gothica. Okay. I didn't know about that one. Not Hey, Toya, at first I thought you misspelled it. I was like, what? Not A on flood. She says A on lace front. Jesus Christ. Wait a minute. Toyo, who was the actress in Aeon Flux? Exactly. That's what. Okay. Exactly. Exactly. And Dr. T. Soylent Green is made of people. Exactly. Right. Who's the actress from Aeon Flux, yo? Exactly. Charlize Theron. And how exactly is Charlize Theron, a white woman, how is she doing right now? Uh-oh. Right? How is she doing right now? Ain't she begging men to ask her on dates? See, at first I thought she was just doing it because of the movie that she was in at the time. I think it had like a romantic theme to it. And then the movie was over and the press run was over and she was still saying it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And that's a white, blonde, blue-eyed woman, Chrissy. Yeah, for all of you that think white men is sweet, white men put her ass on ice. Wait a minute. What is your son wearing? The black adopted son? Yeah, yeah, yeah. What? Oh, she got him out here like that? Oh, yeah, no, nope, 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 nope. Huh? Meanwhile, Chrissy and them speak about these white women and these exoticals like they can have anything. Because y'all think white men are that sweet. These Latino and Asian men are that sweet. Like they don't put women on ice. Talk about moving silently. Uh-oh. Huh? See what I'm saying? And Compassionate says, ain't no white boys trying to play stepdad to no African trans kids. Huh? Yeah. And y'all give Z 1 second. Let me try to listen to the rest of this real quick. Give Mr. Z 1 second. So Chrissy says something I actually do agree with. She says when she's in some of these nicer restaurants, nicer places, the men aren't great lookers all the time, and the women that they're with aren't always the supermodel esque women. And she's right about that. She's actually right about that. Wait a minute. But those women oftentimes build with those men. They were with those men from the beginning. Those women weren't a-holes in their 20s, in their early 30s, and then waited for those men to become rich or wealthy or establish well financially, and then end up with those men. No, Chrissy, you got to gamble, Chrissy. Yeah, you heard right. You're going to have to be out here and gamble and then stick with it. Oops. All that waiting at the finish line for the rich man. How is that working for Claudio Jordan right now? God damn. Huh? How is that working for a number of famous extra women, namely the black ones, but even some of the white ones? Huh? No, Chrissy, you're going to have to build. I don't want to build. Huh? Yeah. And Maggie says, good men are good to good women. If men aren't good to you, maybe that's why. Maggie, I think it's just a lifestyle. I don't think they're looking for just good men. They're looking for good men that have money to spend a whole lot of money on them. That's why, if you notice, now they're speaking about generous men. So you can't just have it. Obviously, you have to be generous, which means extremely, extremely giving. Buy me, right? Buy me. Yeah. It's about lifestyle. This free women plus capitalism equals a deregulated dating market, right? Plus neoliberal capitalism equals, right? Men and me and shout out to Compassion. Me and Compassion have spoken about this. It equals the dating market being actually the trick and the trick John streetwalker market. I don't want to say the word, but yes. Because a boyfriend and a husband is supposed to be a trick, right? Yeah. That is apparently that is much of the idea that's going on. And I think instead of us having a society where we educate women and we allow for them to get as high as they want to go in position and go as far as they want to go, right? And then end up with, if they can't end up with a man that's similarly situated, great. If not, and they end up with someone who might be less educated but earns as much, less educated but earns a little bit less, then so be it. The women said, no, I earn 120, he better earn 200, 250, a million, right? I earn 80, he better earn 120. I earn 70, he better earn 150. Because anything less than that is settling. And Chrissy is an example of that. And a number of, and this is why you got to love the internet. As I said, the internet will expose us all. This is why you got to love social media. This is why you got to love the internet. Because women are jumping on their phone camera, they're jumping on microphones and telling you exactly what they're on. And I'm watching polite society, whether they're conservative or liberal, turn their noses up and be like, doo-doo-doo-doo. Nope, I don't hear it. Put their fingers in their ear. Nope, I don't hear it. I don't hear it. The women are screaming at the top of their lungs. It's not fair. I'm $150,000 in student loan debt. I have my master's degree. I'm an attorney, right? I have this $60,000 car I could barely afford. It's not fair. Don't make me settle. The women are screaming, and polite society is like, we don't hear you. We're going to blame the men and shame the men. Ain't that right, Dr. Richard Reeves? And tell them that they got to overproduce. Absolutely not. Right? Trail says, I earned 28K, he better earn 600. And it's crazy because, like, people thought women were trolling. And let's be very clear, the vast majority of women don't really mean that crap, right? This is like one-up entertainment stuff for them. But a sizable enough do mean it to the point where it is affecting your society. Like the type of banter and conversation that women, namely black women, are engaging in online, many of them mean it. Enough of them mean it where it actually is affecting the way the black community is moving, right? It's affecting who we're voting for. It's affecting how we spending money, right? It's respecting, that's a respecting, should be. It's affecting whether we're having children or not, whether we're getting married or not. Because if you have a Chrissy who says this and means it, right? If you're average, I tell average and below average looking black women, if you can't date hypergamously, it's better to be alone. Like that's a political stance, right? Now, what does that mean for family formation? Because Chrissy has some 200 and some odd thousand subscribers. What does that mean for family formation? And shout out to Chrissy. She played a clip a couple months ago of random darker skinned black women that tell you Chrissy has influenced me like that. Chrissy has influenced me like that. And these are women that are on TikTok and got a lot of viewers themselves. So as I said, she has ideological children and grandchildren. So this internet stuff is not just internet. This social media stuff is not just social media. It is affecting you. So when a woman who has some 200 and some odd thousand subscribers says, I tell average and below average looking black women that if you can't date hypergamously, it's better to be alone, and she stands on that, right? That's lifestyle. And y'all gives you 1 second. Goddamn ambulance passing by. Y'all gives you 1 second. And we're back, right? So, and Chrissy says something else. Many smart, intelligent, successful women aren't settling just to get a ring. You gotta love it. We're not settling. Excuse me. We're not settling just to get a ring. I keep saying this. The petite bourgeoisie, hyper, and I gotta modify it a little bit. Hyper aspirational black women are doing so much talking. Oh, they talking. And they talking loud, and they're being obnoxious. Oh, they talking. Right? They're being loud and obnoxious. Don't settle, right? That's what they're saying. And y'all gives you 1 second. I'm gonna make this. Gives you a second. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. And we're back. And shout out to Vic, right? And shout out to Vic. And Compassionate says, check your girlfriend's YouTube history, fellas. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, right? So the reason why I cover stuff like this, I know it get taxing for y'all. I know I done messed up y'all algorithm, and it take y'all days to get all of this stuff off, right? Is to speak to what is going on in the black community. We have, especially when you're dealing with the Dr. Umars and the FD signifiers, right, who pretend like this is not a thing or it's not really affecting the black community or this is a small group of black women. I just broke down to you that Chrissy got 200 and some odd thousand subscribers, right? 200 and some odd thousand subscribers. Yanni has another 200 some odd thousand subscribers. Paris Malone has 300 and some odd thousand subscribers. Cynthia G, before the end of her channel, had over 100 some odd thousand subscribers. And then they have ideological children and grandchildren that go out through the internet and then spread those words and have that sentiment, and sometimes even more extreme. And then that affects black men and black women's relationship in real life, in the real world, right? That's what I'm trying to say here. So when Chrissy is speaking about moving in silence, how frightening is it if you perfect what Compassionate said, shout out to Victor Creed, right? You check your lady's YouTube history and you see that she just watched a Paris Milan video, and before that she had checked out Chrissy, right? I ain't gonna be too mean to Yanni. I ain't even gonna put Yanni in there. She checked out Chrissy, she checked out Paris Milan, right? She subscribed to Shira7. You gotta start asking yourself, why is she with you? Right? If Chrissy is telling her average, and most of us are average and below average looking, that's life. So if Chrissy is saying average and below average black women, I'm telling them if you can't date hypergamously, it's better to be alone. What's hypergamously? Your lady earns $45,000 a year. What's hypergamous to a $45,000 a year black woman? 70 grand, 80 grand, 100, 150. Oh God, if she super chats Princella, oh no, not that. Passport OG says if she super chat Princella, if she super chat Princella, you got a bigger issue on your hands, right? Now you don't know. Now if she cheats on you, you don't know who she gonna cheat on you with, and it's possible there'll never be any evidence. Oh boy, right? And KMS says, and thank you for the super chat. And KMS says, I find it hilarious that women only want to build with rich men as if their contribution will mean a damn, well, exactly, mean a damn thing. Thank you for supporting my dandelion shop. Now our yearly income is $3,008,000 a year. Right? It's frightening to listen to black women who you would hope know better. Oh boy, Z, you said hope. Right? Who you would hope know better and who understand the weight of their words. Passport OJ, I ain't even gonna highlight it. Hysterical. True, right? You would think they would know better and advocate for better, but they can't help it. And as I was saying, this is a political movement for them. Right? This is a political movement. Because what's different with what Chrissy said and what Real Talk with Yanni said? What did Real Talk with Yanni say? What's the incentive? In other words, a woman like me who's earning six figures and who can afford their own condo, nice high-rise condo, and a BMW, a nice expensive BMW, what is the incentive exactly for me to be with a man? And I can hear that. I can hear that. Huh? Except when the pop the balloon guy happens and when some of these other man woman type of conversations happen, you seem real invested in bringing that man down to size. It doesn't sound like somebody who's kind of nonchalant about the man woman conversation. You way too invested for it to only be that you care about black women that much. Uh-oh. Huh? Y'all are being loud. Way, 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 way loud. Vince says, Alexa, play Drew Hill incomplete, hysterical. Y'all are being loud, Chrissy. Y'all are being loud. To the detriment of the black community writ large and to black women specifically. There is no escape hatch out of the black community for the most part. Even with your non-black spouse, there is no escape hatch, Chrissy. There is no escape hatch. You could throw the temper tantrum you want. You can have other black women throw all this type of temper tantrum, throw the mythical, magical white man all in black men's faces, and this lifestyle and that lifestyle. That ain't saving nothing. Huh? I keep saying that we attached by the hip. And all the Chrissies do is just throw salt in the game. That's all they do. That's all Chrissy is doing. That's all Paris is doing. That's all Lexus Exodus is doing. Just throwing salt in the game. That's all they're doing. Because the majority of black people are still going to end up with black people. All y'all doing is providing more angst in black women. That's all you're doing. And making the mating process and the courting process and the dating process more difficult. That's all you're doing. Huh? Huh? Just loud and obnoxious for the majority of your own subscribers to pretty much still end up with black men anyway. You imagine? Huh? Now you're telling them it's best if they move silently, while also being a bit conflicted because you wish that they could be loud and arrogant. You're saying that, Chrissy, and it's very clear not just how biased you are, because we're all biased, but how blatant it is. Chrissy, you refer to the caramel sister that's a little bit heavy, that broke down on that show because the brothers mentioned her weight, without remembering, that's if you watch the whole thing, that she said something about the shorter brother's height first. She was disparaging about his height first. She had a preference for taller men. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I mean that. But when they mention weight, now you crumble? And then you backed her up on it? This is what we're talking about. Women like you, Chrissy, women like that young lady on that show. Y'all real sassy with it when you dishing it out. You're real sassy with it when you dishing it out. You're mean with it. You're inconsiderate with it. You don't care when you're dishing it out. And the second men start speaking about their preferences, y'all crumble. Once Kevin Samuels started telling y'all, okay, you want that? What do those men that you want? Uh-oh. Chrissy, it's been a couple years. You still referring to Miss Average at Best. You still refer to her. Like you forgot that she said what she's not settling for also. Uh-oh. She had preferences too, Chrissy. Huh? You still referring to it because y'all still feel slighted. Kevin Samuels been gone for 2 years. Y'all still feel slighted by him, but of course you are. I remember, Chrissy, he's making fun of my image. Y'all still feel slighted by him. Never mind the fact that woman after woman after woman after woman after black woman after black woman after black woman after black woman on Instagram, on YouTube, boiling men down to nothing but walking ATM machines, over glorified guard dogs, and the occasional vibrator. Never mind that. Huh? Never mind that. Huh? You still bringing Average at Best up, but of course you are. Chrissy, before there was a Kevin Samuels, before he blew up, you sounded the way you did. Before there was a Kevin Samuels, you sounded the way you did, Chrissy. Huh? Then Kevin shows up, or at least his numbers start. He started really gaining traction, and then you and Cynthia G and Shira Seven and Real Talk with Yanni and Paris Milan and Divested Zealot and Lexus Exodus and Mahogany Pink. I could go on forever. Y'all decided to go scorch earth on black men because how dare black men have a microphone? How dare black men have a microphone and tell you, oh, that's what you want? Let me tell you what you want cost. Uh-oh. Kevin told you, oh, those the men you want? I know them. Let me tell you what they say they want. Huh? It's laughable how women like you in the FD signifiers frame Kevin like he was talking to himself. Not like there were women that called in and told him, who wants to be with average anyway? Huh? Right? Not Kendra G gotta eat it all day, every day. Huh? And y'all attempt to compete with rich white women. Y'all have made yourself insufferable. Y'all have made yourself undateable. Y'all have made yourself unmarriageable. Y'all have made yourselves absolutely delusional in your attempts to be rich white women. There's a bunch of 20 some odd, 30 some odd, 40 some odd, 50 some odd, 60 some odd year old black women throwing goddamn temper tantrums because it ain't fair that you're not white. Huh? And when y'all hear white, read rich white women. It ain't fair. Huh? White women aren't told to settle. Yawn. Huh? Y'all are so goddamn loud. Whether it's the Fun Brothers, whether it's some random white dude, everywhere you go, where it's a non-black dude that showed the absolute slightest interest in black women or that he doesn't discriminate against black women, y'all are in the comments looking like the most desperate people on the face of the goddamn earth. Right? Those are your acolytes, Chrissy. Huh? Y'all are disparaging black men doing y'all best rendition of a classist a-hole aristocratic white woman. Like y'all just fell out of 17th, 18th century Europe, 19th century Europe. These black men aren't of my class. They're so beneath me. They're not educated enough. All in the comments of Amala, what's her name? Epi, I can't remember how to pronounce her last name, especially when I don't see it. I don't know how to pronounce it. Ekpunobi? Ah, there we go. Haha, got it. Remembered. All in her comments. Throwing black men under the bus. Why? So some random white or Latino or Asian dude could come and save you from Blackistan? And the clock keeps ticking. Shout out to Seal. Right? All in her comments, throwing black men under the bus. Yeah, black men don't value us. They don't know how to treat men right. They don't do that. Treat men right. Excuse me. They don't know how to treat women right. Black men don't value us. Yawn. Uh, Let me say it again. I'm gonna say this last thing again. If you think y'all are screaming now, black women, if you think you're screaming now, God forbid when that next conservative come in and says, no, I don't sign on to the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025. I am not signing on that. And he does slowly creep that thing in, and the state starts to implement these things. Oh, you think y'all screaming now? You think y'all on the white peen chase now? Oh, wait until they start privatizing more and more of these government jobs. You think black people constitute with 12, 13%, like 25 or so percent are in the public sector somewhere, somehow. Right? Somebody correct Z if he's wrong. Huh? Exactly, Trill. If you think you're screaming now, wait until 2025, girl, right? If you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight. Exactly. Right? Oh, this gonna hurt. Oh, it's gonna hurt. And I'm not just saying 2025. We already know. And yes, even being on the left, I do think they're using it as a scare tactic. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. They are using it as a scare tactic. They are, particularly to black folks, but to all people who might want to just couch surf 2025. Yes, the left is using it as a scare tactic. Absolutely. And shout out to Lion. We had the conversation in my community tab. Yes, they are trying to use it as a scare tactic. But there are certain things to be scared about, right? These are things that they've been trying, the right has been trying to implement for decades. And for them, they got to strike while the stove is hot. And especially the money part, the culture war part, I'm not too into. The religious part, I'm not too into. But the money part, oh boy. Stripping government agencies and appointing certain people to oversee these things by administration. Oh, do you know how ugly that's gonna be? Right? Do you know how ugly that's gonna be? You want to talk about precarious? Pfft, all right. And so, assuming that some of these things get passed, and you're gonna go it alone in this precarious, gigafied ass economy, all right, cool story, bro. All right, Chrissy, that sound nice. All right, Dr. Chris Marsh, that sound nice. All right, Tiny, that sound nice. Stephanie Perry, that sound nice. Real Talk with Yanny, that sound nice. Paris Malone is married, everyone. Huh? Thank you, Compassionate. They want to abolish the EPA. Bruh. Right? Y'all keep playing around. Right? Low key, it's almost like they want that though. Right? It's almost like they want that though. And Red Falls Black says they think Project 2025 is going to secretly bring the Handmaid's Tale. Hashtag bring Gilead. No, you know what? Yeah, I'm peeping that too. And that's not where we're gonna be. Stop it. They're doing too much. I agree with you on that. Red Falls Black. They're doing too much. Stop. And definitely not for black women. Stop. Right? Oh, wait a minute. And wait. Aren't these the white dudes that they keep on comparing us to though? Oops. Wait a minute. How many black people are associated with Project 2025? Uh-oh. Aren't these everyone from your LGBTQ cousin who finds out you listen to certain Black Manosphere content and then chastises you about it, huh? All the way to the Chrissies of the world. Aren't these the white men they keep on comparing us to? Huh? How many conservative black men would even think about doing this? Going this far with it? Huh? I agree with that. I agree with that. And Kenneth Page says most of this won't pass through Congress. I agree. I agree. Right? And just the exercise in what they want to do. How many black men are on this? Even for us in the Black Manosphere, even for the conservative brothers, how many of us on this? Huh? These are the white guys they keep on comparing us to, everyone. Huh? Yeah. not smart, right? KMS is, and thank you for the super chat. Kudos to the black women content creators who have paper, but most of their subs don't. Bro, man, I could go on a whole nother rant about that. How you gonna be superior yet begging for money because you broke? A lot of black women live in a dystopian movie right now. Mad Max, give me some Thunderdome, bro. It really is. It really and that's so. Look, I say to y'all, there's a number of you doing better than Z financially, right? I'm very honest about my lifestyle. Blue collar, 2 jobs, working my butt off. I tell y'all when Z is about to run up them hours, like this week is one of those weeks. It's gonna be like a 75-hour week this week and a 75-hour week next week, right? I'm very clear. I'll let y'all know about my lady, how happy I am. Right? Y'all know about the Z, y'all know about the M, right? Y'all know I want to go back to school. I'm very clear. I don't talk down to my subscribers. More than half of y'all are more educated than I am. It's just weird listening to someone who should be in advisor role. And I know they think they are, but all the advice is crap. Huh? I got young brothers in here. Shout out to Demetrius, shout out to Vince, who still want to end up with black women. And all the Chrissies of the world do is it make it more difficult. That's all they do. Huh? I'm not trying to have a bunch of subscriber black men standing on black women's heads in the middle of the street. You don't hear us saying, well, if she's not a supermodel, then huh? If she not 120, then if she not 110, then right? What type of weirdo stuff y'all on? So yeah, KMS, we're not selling a dream here. This is real life, right? The other day I told y'all my younger sister shamed me because this is real life, right? I don't know what these people are on. Once again, these weirdo outliers that are on the internet, they gotta be lying about their life, right? Like Chrissy, you even had a moment of being sober and saying, in this apartment, this luxury apartment by myself. I heard the tone in your voice when you said that. You lonely. Huh? And you still on this train that you're on. It's not smart. Huh? And you can afford, at least from what we can see clearly, to be single financially. The vast majority of black women cannot afford that. And you still talking. And thank you for the super chat, KMS. Thank you for the super chat. And I'm going to read this one now. And Passport OG says, Western women are taking glee in ending the civilization that gave them the privilege to be picky in the first place. Ain't that the funniest thing in the world? Passport OG, it is insane. It's insane. And that lets you know like how much status matters to these people. How much status matters. I know we're social creatures. You even see this in different apes and monkeys and whatnot, is how much status matters. The hierarchy. And even as human beings, Sometimes the money matters, but it's really the status, right? It's really the ability to look down on others and the esteem that you get from being, from having nicer things and living in a nicer neighborhood with a bigger house and you know, bragging about what school you send your children to and what your husband does for a living or what your wife does for a living. And getting the compliments of, oh, that's your girl. Oh, okay. Ooh, I see you. Right. It's understandable. But how far are you willing to go if you can't have that? And the women said, we will burn this whole entire society to the ground if we can't end up with the top 1.1%. Right? Really, the top 20 up, but they will burn this society to the ground if they can't end up with that guy. And so I say, scorch away. Scorch away. You know who is going to hurt the most, though, right? Uh-oh. I'm not saying this is not going to hurt men and black men in specific. As I said, if y'all really want to do this, oh yeah, black men lose a gender war. You better believe it. And black women lose a gender war harder. We're attached by the hip, but black men marry out more and they can marry out more. Period. Black men earn more. You're not doing the math correctly, Chrissy. Black men earn more and black men can marry out more. No matter what black women do. Y'all not doing the math. You would think you would be advising black women to hold on to black men for dear life. But that would mean swallowing your pride, and you can't do that. Don't know nothing about that. Shout out to Kendrick. Huh? You don't know anything about that. Swallowing your pride for black men? Absolutely not. Burn it to the ground. Ain't that right? Huh? Sound like Captain Yamamoto off of Bleach when he unsheathed his sword and he about to go Bankai or something. Burn it to ashes, right? Burn it to the ground. Because I can't live out my rich white women fantasies. Pathetic. Global free agent says, too proud to bail from the train, apparently. Right? It's exactly what Passport OG says. You imagine giving black men the middle finger. Black men earn more, black men put in more hours at work, black men employ more people, black men have better credit scores. Right? Imagine giving those people the middle finger because you can't live out your white woman fantasies, rich white women fantasies. You feel so slighted by the dudes in high school or in college that were, shout out to BGS speaking about the AKs that ended up with Kamala or something like that. The dude that was drooling over Kamala in college, you feel so slighted by that you have decided to wage war on black men forever, Stephanie Perry. Oops. Huh? You a whole judge talking about a man is not a plan, a man is a companion. Ain't that right, Fannie Willis? See, if you were with a man and you were married to one, then you wouldn't really be known as gorilla grip right now. Oops. You would have never had to be this embarrassed because you decided to go at a former president, which was in your right to do, but you wouldn't have been exposed like this had you had a man, and you wouldn't be known as gorilla grip. Huh? What's going on, Chef Mike's? Huh? This is insane talk. And y'all gives you 1 second. Let me try to finish this out. Oh yeah, by the way, side note, she uses Reza teaser when she's saying, "Oh, we're not just gonna settle for a ring." Ooh, she knows what she's doing. She knows. She definitely knows what she's doing. She puts up Reza teaser, a clip of Reza teaser. I think that's how the lady's name is pronounced, right? When she says, "Oh, we're no longer settling just for a ring." I see you, Chrissy. I see you. Nice, right? Chrissy. Chrissy is definitely good at media literacy and propaganda. Oh, she good at it, right? The clips that she uses when she's speaking. Someone said it earlier. Shout yourself out, right? Was it KMS or was it Compassion? I can't remember which one y'all it was. But yeah, she definitely know what she's doing. I see you, Chrissy. I see you. Right, and y'all gives you 1 second. So the heavy set, and she's not even heavy like that. Sister that was on that show, and she cracked when the brother brought up her weight. Chrissy concedes that he had a point by telling her, just go to the gym and lose a couple of pounds, and work out. But then she goes on to say, why are you going onto one of these Negro, and Negro's not the word she used, Negro podcasts to pretty much hear these men's advice in the first place? Who's she supposed to get advice from, Chrissy? You? Who? Huh? She's supposed to get advice from you, huh? And thank you, Toya. And Toya says, really good time to hit the like button if you haven't, right? Who's she supposed to get advice from? And thank you, Toya. You, Chrissy? First of all, you already went into her about her light skin and said, "Oh, see, I knew it, and that's what I've been saying for these years, for 9 years. These men be letting these women skate with light skin, huh? Who is she supposed to get advice from, Chrissy? You? See, the brother told her to go to the gym and lose weight. You would tell her, because you already have, that average and below average looking black women, if you can't date hypergamy, it's better that you be alone. That's what you say. Uh-oh. He's telling her what to do to get a man. You're telling her if she can't get what she wants, it's better to be alone. Yeah. And Black Enterprise Institute says single Latina and single black women have the least amount of wealth in America. Oh boy. And once again, Passport OG, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And I'm gonna read your comment last, Oppo. And KMS says, and thank you for the super chat. To Passport OG, I bet there were women in the 70s Iran who were delighted to see the Shah get ousted right before they lost the rights. Myopic. And so for those of you that don't know, okay, short history lesson, everyone. Short history lesson. Okay, so what is now known as BP, I think they changed their name again. They lobbied the U.S. Eisenhower at the time and the British government to overthrow a democratically elected president named Mohammad Mossadegh back in 1953, and I think it was called Operation Ajax, right? So he got he was overthrown by his people. By his people, quotes on the by his people. If you haven't read or watched the interview of I forgot his name, John Perkins, right? The economic hitman, the Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Oh boy, So anyway, so that happened. So the Shah was reinstalled, right? So the Shah the Shah was in power. Most of them got democratically elected and that put him over the Shah. The Shah ran, um, and so the Shah was reinstated, and then he ran Iran from 1953 to what 1979 ish or something like that, um, or something along those 1970 some odd, and so when he was finally overthrown by the people of Iran, they then installed the Ayatollah. Oops. And so, quote unquote, progressive Iran, air quotes, um, became, well, the Iran now where you could, there's police for your attire and whatnot, especially for the women. And yeah, so exactly what KMS is saying. They thought it was good until it wasn't. Oh, and Earth says it's pronounced Iran. Iran. Okay, right. So yeah, and if I got the story a little wrong, my apologies, my apologies. But you know, yeah, the myopia, exactly what KMS is saying. Actually, let's leave that highlighted for a little bit. The myopia, right? And it is myopic. It's myopic. America is reshuffling. It's starting to focus in on itself, right? High ass interest rates is crushing people. The economy ain't feeling too right for your average person, or the economy is buzzing along, but your average person down on the ground is not feeling the progress, right? And literally a couple of weeks ago, that's the space that Chrissy is saying average and below average looking black women just be alone. So what KMS is saying about these people being myopic, it like for real, 100% accurate. 100% accurate, right? They are that myopic. Chrissy over here mocking, no, sorry, wrong person. Real Talk with Yenny mocking civil rights leaders. Pretty much, and she pretty much said it. They did all they did for white vagina, right? For white vagina, for access to white women. Real Talk with Yenny is on camera giving her commentary, and there's no white people breaking through her door and saying, "You Negro wench, how dare you talk? We told y'all not to show yourselves." And the men that made that possible, she's defecating on them. She's earning good money on YouTube, has a condo and a luxury car. And the black men that helped to make that possible, she's defecating on them and saying they did everything they did and they lost their lives, had their lives taken from them, all for white vagina, access to white women. You imagine the myopia that takes. Huh? Medgar Evers deleted, Malcolm deleted, Martin deleted, Fred Hampton deleted, right? Mumia in prison for how goddamn long? Huh? What I was watching once, a brother was part of the Black Panther Party, or he was like affiliate, right? And he worked for the post office and they fired him. They never told him why. Come to find out, an FBI agent went to his boss. He had a white boss at the time. I want to say this is like early 70s or whatnot. His daughter ended up finding out because she was rummaging through documents to put out her book that her dad was fired from the post office by being affiliated with the Black Panther Party. Brothers lost their entire livelihoods, were incarcerated, were deleted so that Chrissy could turn around and tell them they did everything they did for white vagina. Wow. So what KMS is saying, yes, they're myopic, insanely myopic, insanely myopic, huh? Paris Milan saying, Kentanji chose better, Eve chose better, right? Kamala chose better, Serena chose better. What does she mean by that? They all chose better because they're all with white men. So that was Paris Milan's way of mocking black men when black men say choose better. And when she's saying, oh yeah, these women did choose better, they all chose white men. Huh? Oh, they never want to talk about that. And Ismail says a lot of civil rights black women, same gender loving, and ended up with white partners. They never see. They always talk about black men were talking black and sleeping white. That's how they make fun of and mock black men civil rights leaders. They never talk about how many of those black women ended up same sex loving or with white partners themselves, or ended up with white partners and then ended up same sex loving. Uh-oh. Right? Huh. So once again, thank you for the super chat, KMS. Thank you for the super chat. And Oppo says, and thank you for the super chat. Watching in the past right now, could you do a Bane impression every time you say there's no escaping Blackistan for you? That would make my night, Z. Okay, I have to go practice it. I ain't gonna do it tonight. I'm gonna go watch the I'm gonna go watch what's it, The Dark Knight Rising. I'm gonna try to imitate his voice as best I can. You gotta give me a couple of days. Oppo. I'll let you know. I might tag you in it too. Might tag you in the title. Right? And PK says projection. See, we know. I'm still not gonna say what Real Talk with Yanni said. Huh? We know that a lot of the sisters, when they were fighting, they had another thing on their mind also. Uh-oh. But for respect for the Shakur women. Huh? And Angela Davis. And all of them. We know. Huh? And all the women that put money to this. The Nina Simone's, even with her past. And the Aretha Franklin's, I ain't even gonna say it. Out of respect. Out of respect. But Real Talk with Yanni couldn't do it though. It was too tempting. B. Simone couldn't do it though. It was too tempting to defecate on black men. Even black men that gave their life up for you to turn around and defecate on them. Huh? Yeah. Huh? I won't even mention them. All the ones that turned their back, the second white women gave them a crumb, they were like, "Whoop, we're going this way." Huh? And how many of them ended up like, well, Alan Stranger got the name up there. I might as well say it. Eartha Kitt. Huh? Threw black men under the bus. Shout out to Only Logical. Only Logical got a whole page of this for y'all. Only Logical got video after video after video, and he's not only covering young sisters or black women in their 30s and 40s and 50s. He going all the way back. Huh? And y'all threw black men under the bus, and now your granddaughters and great granddaughters are out here telling us what they're not going to settle for, and they don't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. And they're listening to women like Chrissy and like Yanni who keep talking about their goddamn luxury apartments every 5 seconds. Not so much Yanni, but she does engage in it also. Huh? They live it vicariously through these women. Huh? But out of respect for the Shakur women, right? And out of respect for Betty Shabazz, right? And out of respect for Miss King, I'm not gonna go in on black women during the civil rights movement. Huh? In P cases. And I can't believe I actually said it. I actually usually say Iran out of respect. Right? So I slipped up by saying Iran, right? And PK says, "All right, Z, I'm gonna be watching, but don't let no one check you for saying Iran again. If Bush can say it, then we can say it." No, but I used to make fun of him for saying Iran and Iraq. I used to do it, so I can't believe that I actually said it. Right? I ain't even gonna lie, I messed up. That's why I'm okay with being checked, because I was one of the people making fun of him. Right? W. uh Okay, see, she's not a civil rights leader, so I could go in on her, Lonnie Love. Right? And shout out to Lonnie Love. They still going strong, her and the dude, apparently. Right? Apparently they still going strong, so you know. And Oppo says, and thank you for the I already read this. Oppo, I'm about to read it again. But yeah, I'm gonna work on the Bane voice for you, Oppo. I'm gonna work on the Bane voice. I'm gonna work on it. You gotta give me maybe next stream, maybe the stream after, right? And shout out to Buckeye fan. Buckeye fan, I did not forget about you. I know it's taking forever. My apologies. It's so much to work through. I'm telling y'all. I get y'all emails, right? I try to. I'm. This is where I messed up. And Buckeye fan, you might have to send me a whole new list of things, right? I need to start archiving. And yes, if y'all like Z, you weren't archiving. I know, right? I need to start archiving emails, right? I know, right? Because what I end up doing is seeing it, reading through it, and then being like, God damn, I gotta go find that email that whoever sent me because it's noteworthy and I gotta go check this thing out again and it just get lost in the sauce. I know, right? So yeah, man. So we covered what we covered tonight. Shout out to Chrissy because one, these are the people that have the ears of our little girls. Two, no, Chrissy, they cannot move in silence. Y'all been too loud and y'all let the entire world know. Three, moving in silence assumes that there's not a microscope on black people and how they move, how they speak, what they think, right? Moving in silence assumes that there's not a hypervisibility on black people writ large, but black men specifically, right? You can't move in silence, number one. You should have been quiet from the jump, Chrissy. But you couldn't help it. And even you said that you kind of flip-flop between black women being loud and arrogant. You said arrogant. If I'm not mistaken, you said arrogant. Because that's how you internalize how black men talk and move. That's how you internalize it. And that says a lot, right? It says a lot. You, Chrissy, if you watch that whole show with the more caramel skin sister and that shorter brother, you didn't even notice. I put money you didn't even notice that she said something about his height before any of them said anything about her weight. I put money you didn't, even though they mentioned it. They mentioned her hypocrisy. And she tried to justify it. And you tried to ignore it. We ain't even gonna talk about Tina. Uh-oh. Huh? And shout out to Detroit. We're not even going to talk about Tina. Well, had all of us out here thinking Ike was out here just stomping the yard on her forehead. Right? So on that note, y'all, I just wanted to cover this. Shout out to you, Chrissy, once again. Chrissy and them got to be the queens of giving the wrong advice. The queens of it. Just loud and wrong and putting salt in the game. That's all y'all doing is putting salt in the game. You didn't even check out that comment section from that Nigerian young lady, did you? And usually, Chrissy, you don't get caught up in this type of thing. Usually you don't. But she lied, Chrissy. It's that simple. She lied and you believed it. And you used it as the theme of your video to tell black women to move in silence if they have these insane, quote unquote, standards. Well, she lied, and your entire think piece is based on a lie. And it's okay, Mr. Zeden got caught up a couple of times too. The difference is I'm not telling black men that if she don't look like this, and she not tall like that, and she not slim like this, then it's better you be alone. That is not what I'm saying. Huh? And that's pretty much not what any of us are saying. Notice the difference. Notice who boils the other one down to nothing but an object. Talk about objectification. And those of us that don't. Huh? It's very interesting how you internalize how black men move and speak, Chrissy. Huh? As an outlier, as a woman who can afford to think and speak the way you do. Once again, the average black woman cannot. That's another reason why they be poo-pooing you and your loud ass apparatchiks, your loud ass followers. Right? And Trell says, West Tennessee, we claim Aretha and Tina around Memphis. Right? Huh. So on that note, everyone, we'll pause right here. And once again, Oppo, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And I had to cover this. Shout out to Azriel. Azriel tagged me. He was like, Z, I got you. Right. And yeah, this is not smart. And they will mention, you will hear Chrissy, Mahogany Pink, name them. Real Talk with Yanni, they'll mention the economic environment. They'll mention the landscape. They'll mention it. And then use it to double down on the insanity. It's crazy talk. It's absolutely crazy talk. Yeah, so the economic environment. Anyway, so just use that to move in silence. What? Okay. Anyway, on that note, we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. There's other things I want to cover. There's some stuff I saw. And shout out to Coach Greg Adams. I don't agree with the brother on everything, but he's covering things about pretty much some of these women trying to reverse course, which is true. That desperation about to look real ugly in a minute, right? So I'm thinking about covering that. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. He tagged me in some stuff I got to check out. So yeah. So Mr. Z we got work to do. And once again, Buckeye fan, I did not forget about you. I did not forget about you in the TLC stuff. And I know I'm gonna have fun with that one. So I did not forget. I know it's been weeks now. I did not forget. Maybe even a month, maybe even longer. Yeah. And Mr. Z got to go out of town in about a couple weeks, so I'm gonna try to get that in either right before I leave or right after I come back. Um, so we'll see. You might have to wait until August. I know, but we'll see. Right. So we'll pause right there, truly, and y'all have a great rest of your night. Mr. Z out. All right, everyone.